Welcome everyone to our workshop for Legality's new set of features on contract management. These features are designed to help you negotiate your contracts in a very easy way. What these features are, how they work, they're going to be told to us by the product manager behind this great suite of features, who's Samriddhi and who's joining us. She's going to tell us more about these features, give us a demo. If you have any questions about anything, do raise your hands anytime in this session. We'll give you mic access, or you can just use the Q&A box that's available in your Zoom interface. You can also send it via that. So we'll start in roughly 1 more minute, just waiting for everyone who has registered for the workshop today to join in. So yeah, over to you, Samriddhi. We can start in another minute.
Sure, Shivesh. Thank you. I think we'll wait a minute or so and then we can begin.
Okay, we can start, Samriddhi, now.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. I'm very excited to walk you through deal collaboration by Leegality, which is basically a solution that we have built to solve a problem that most legal and business teams know too well. So I understand how contracts work in most organizations today. Business teams and your contracts and versions are scattered across Excel sheets, Drive, folders, email threads, and you have to send requirements to legal through WhatsApp, through email, through Microsoft Chat, sometimes even verbal requests. Renewal dates, they're tracked manually in spreadsheets until someone forgets to update them. And then you have missed a critical deadline or you're way too close to that deadline. Reviewing contracts, reading every clause line by line against maybe your standard or your SOP or your playbook. It's tedious, it's time consuming, and mistakes can slip through. Then we are left at the negotiation itself. There can be a lot of back and forth on email, on WhatsApp, on calls, on meetings, internal approvals that can happen in one place, external negotiations are happening in another, and not one person has complete visibility into where things actually stand. This is what deal collaboration is trying to solve. So, with deal collaboration, we are trying to give you first a centralized repository where all your contracts live in one place. You can find any document, whether it was a legacy one or one that you initiate on our system, instantly with extensive filtration. You can share contracts directly with counterparty and track every change with version control. Second, AI powered review that runs custom standards, SOPs that you might have to catch risks and extract key terms automatically. Basically, what we're trying to give you is a consistent analysis at scale without the manual effort. Third, we don't want you to miss a renewal ever. Automated turnaround time notifications to help keep deals moving. Our job is to make sure that you get to be on track and everything in your pipeline is also. And finally, you never have to leave your favorite word editor. Access the contract repository, perform approvals, upload versions, run AI review, all directly from Microsoft Word, our plugin. So, our flow is straightforward. You can set up your templates. I can give you a high level understanding of what I'm about to show you in the demo. But since a lot of you already use Leegality, you will see a lot of familiarity with what we are trying to do so that your job to be done is consistent and you don't have to get adjusted to a new platform. So the flow is straightforward. You set up your templates once, configure your workflows, and with the right approvers and reviewers, initiate deals that route automatically. You can collaborate with counterparties and run AI reviews all from a single space and monitor renewals with automatic reminders. So, lastly, you end this all negotiation with signing, and the signing happens again on Leegality, right? So, let me show you exactly how this will work in practice. And just one second. Great. Let me know if you can see my screen. Now what we can see is the contract repository and our homepage. In our homepage, firstly, what I would like to show you is this is the exact place where you can see all your tasks, all contracts that would be under your review, all contracts that have been executed, all from the same place. So the point is that whenever you're logging into this platform, you get to see everything in one exact position, right? This is your command center. At a glance, you can see everything under review, in negotiation, and executed deals. And your pending tasks are also right here. So you always know what needs your attention. Before we initiate a deal, let me quickly show you what powers the whole system, which is basically our templates and workflows. So I'll click on templates in the left panel, and you can see that we can see all our templates right here. These are my standardized templates, my agreements, my vendor formats, my NDAs, my MSAs, whatever I use repeatedly. And for example, you can see here is my vendor agreement template. The point is that from one exact position, I can access all my standardized templates. So whatever standards and templates legal team has set up for me, I can use those and we don't have to worry about version control. In vendor agreements, the high level understanding that I want you to have is that these are like smart templates. So if you have any specific information like effective date, counterparty address, terms of payments, certain values that you want as information from your business team, from your counterparty team, can be set up right here on the template itself. So you can then again use them for effective filtration. So with templates, what we want you to understand is that you can use these for workflows. Workflows is where you set up how an agreement or a deal will flow through a contract. Right now, for your understanding, I've set up a vendor agreement template right here. And what I'll show you is how a contract can move through your organization with this vendor agreement template. Let me just click on this. I have opened our vendor agreement workflow. Here is the important part. I have configured it with something called outbound deal. What is that? An outbound deal is basically a type of agreement where you can see where you want to send your template to the counterparty, right? There will be certain deals where the counterparty will say, hey, I want to send my template. There will be certain contracts where you have to send your template, and then there will be certain deals where you both are sending your templates. So basis whatever your use cases, you can set them up right here in outbound and in inbound. The way I've set it up right now, I want you to just take one understanding. A workflow is just an orchestration, like we have seen in legality, that it's a one-time setup. We want you to not worry about the repetitive parts and just focus on the things that keep changing per contract to contract. So in this case, I know when it comes to my vendor agreements, which are outbound, some things will be set up already. The template that I'm using, my workflow description, and maybe the people involved also. Now let's quickly take a look at the collaborators part. Why is this important and how does this help me? Firstly, whenever we are working on these different types of agreements, the people involved change agreement. Maybe in my MSA, I'm working with a certain type of team. When I'm working on NDAs, I'm working with certain other people. When I'm working on a specific counterparty, then again, my team might change. So the idea is that we try to give you as much flexibility as you want. So you can set it up once, initiate and configure the collaborators, and then when it actually is time to run a workflow, you have everything set up for you. So for example, we have an initiator. What's that? That's somebody who's going to run the workflow. So tomorrow, if you have to run an advertising agreement, that's no problem. Somebody will come to the system. They will just click on run. This workflow will run for them. And the person who is running is the initiator. The second thing that we see here is a pre-sharing reviewer. This is optional. If you want to use it, you can. If you don't want to use it, that's also okay. So what the point with a pre-sharing reviewer being optional is that depending on the type of agreement, you can set it up for your organization if you need that extra level of check. What a pre-sharing reviewer does is the pre-sharing reviewer gives you the ability to do the reviews before it goes to the counterparty. For example, I might have a procurement team who has to review certain parts of a contract before it goes to the counterparty for signing. I might need some people from my finance team or my legal team or my compliance team or my IT team to check certain parts of my contract before it goes to the counterparty. That's what a pre-sharing reviewer does. So here I have set up myself for this agreement, vendor agreement, and I have set up that Samriddhi Iyer for this specific vendor agreement has to check these values before it goes to the counterparty. So I am responsible for making sure that these values are accurate and then there is no discrepancy. I can use it in the way that is needed for my organization. The second thing that we'll see is a business negotiator. A business negotiator is basically who's handling the commercial angle. And lastly, we end with the legal negotiator. They will be doing the power editing, they will be maintaining the version control, and they will give you the go ahead for the sign off that this is good to go for signing. I continue and you get a high level understanding right here of the people involved when it comes to this workflow. So you can see the people that I have set up right now, and you can also see the people who are not set up because this will change every single time a workflow will run. Right here, what I'll do is if I want, I can also set up a turnaround time. What this helps us with is we have so many agreements working on every time, all the time, right? What we want is a little more accountability and a little more clarity into who is assigned what and by when do they have to finish it. So if I am assigned something for review, the point of a turnaround time is that first of all, I get the right notifications at the right time and not somebody manually has to remind me for this. Secondly, as an administrator, I also get full understanding on what is it that we are behind on, what do we need to work on. So this can be configured to your needs depending on the type of role that you feel is important for your organization. So you can set up the turnaround times here, save changes, and that's great. The workflow is updated. Now, let me give you a quick overview on how we'll initiate a deal, right? And initiating a deal is basically you're running your contract through this specific workflow and it will follow the steps that you have set it up for them, right? So at this point, what I'll do is I have set up my specific contract and now I want to run the workflow. So right now I am going to now run my vendor workflow and you can see that I'll just write a counterparty name. Let's say the counterparty name is ABC vendors. I add the counterparty name. This is what a initiator will see when they are running this workflow, right? They have a vendor agreement. Now they have to run it. So what are they going to see? This is what they'll see. They have to just add the counterparty name, the deal name. What's the deal name? The deal name is basically if I am running a specific vendor agreement with a vendor, I might just have the vendor agreement. I might have some other contract. I might have an addendum. I might have a bunch of different contracts that come part of the same deal. So I can add that in the same deal. So here I might write ABC vendors into legality. And I can maybe write that this is for the vendor agreement. The point of this is to keep it flexible per your organization's needs. Every organization phrases their contracts a little differently. So we want that flexibility on you. You can see here that the workflow is already selected, which is the vendor agreement workflow. So at this point, I can just set up my template. It's vendor agreement and I can hit proceed. At this point, I'll see all the information from this specific contract filled on the left. So on the left, I can see the exact template. And on the right, I can see form fields of the variables that I had mentioned. This is basically a smart template. So the point is we're making it a little easier for whoever is going to be running this contract to fill information, right? Otherwise, they'll have to go on the contract, fill it. They might change the formatting a little bit. They might accidentally touch something else in the contract. We want to keep things clean. So if you have certain information that you need from your business team at the time of running a contract, you can do that. So for example, I need the effective date. I need the counterparty name. Like I mentioned that the counterparty's name is ABC vendors. And I maybe need the term and days. That's something that I need for my contract. The list of configurations here is endless, and you can take it per your use case. So I can just take a good look here. Okay, everything looks good. This is the contract. This is fine. And I hit proceed, right? When I hit proceed, I have already set up everything. My collaborators, everything is set up. So this setup has been done by the administrator. And now somebody from your business team, somebody from your vendor team, whoever is going to be handling from your procurement team, who's going to be handling this specific agreement, they just need to fill those fields that are important for this specific agreement. So let's say the counterparty point of contact. Counterparty point of contact, let's say, again, I'm going to write my name and I'll put in a personal email. And I write that. Now, if you have more counterparty points of contact, then what? No problem. This is just one email to get you started. But when you're actually sending a contract for counterparty review, you can add more people. So it's completely fine. I'll get an idea. Okay, this is the things that I'm adding. Okay, this looks good. And I hit proceed. Again, they just had to fill the values that they needed. They had to take a quick preview, and that's it. Your contract is been initiated and it's live in your system. So you'll be able to see here vendor agreement, the vendor agreement against the specific counterparty, the deal name, when it was created, and its status. Now you can very clearly see that the status of this contract is also visible to you. And an email has also been sent to me because I'm going to be working on this all the time, right? So I want visibility on email also that, hey, something has been assigned to you. Please come and check. You'll get all of that through automated emails. I click on this contract. And right now, right here at itself, I'll be able to see what is assigned to me, what is the stage of the contract, who is the assignee, who are the people involved, everything in one go, and the activity logs for this specific contract. So I come to the system, I see, okay, this is Samriddhi Iyer, she's assigned this. Okay, great. Like I had mentioned on my homepage, I can see that I have a task already assigned to me. I came sometime later, I see, okay, I have this assigned to me. I can just click it right here and I'll come back to the same contract. On my right, I can see certain information, right, that I had filled: counterparty name, effective date, term and days. Now, at this point, I was assigned certain information. I can accept it, reject it, edit it. I can see the version history. Like, for example, if my quotes keep changing across my contract, right, I can have complete visibility on what was the code that we started with, what is the code that we have ended with, if I want to maintain that log. So it depends on the complete configuration on your end on how you want to use it. So let's say I'm good with this information, I approve it. Once my approval is done, you can see the contract has moved from internal review to external review. So this is the point where, again, because I was the business negotiator, this is assigned to me. At this point, I can send it for external review, and I have two options for me. The first option, maybe I want to send it directly from my system. I don't want the hassle of downloading a contract, manually making an email, sending it to my counterparty, then keep following up with the counterparty, get the response from the counterparty, then upload it. I don't want any of that. I have an option of share via Leegality link, which helps me create an automated email. Leegality creates a guest portal for your counterparty where they can see this contract and upload it if they need it. If you want access to that, you can enable this option. If you don't want access to that, you can have the manual option. Both will be available to you at all times. So at this point, I can write a message. I'm sending my contract to the counterparty, right? Ki mera vendor agreement ho gaya and I want to send it to the counterparty. So at this point, what I can do is, hey, can you please check? I can write whatever message I want and I can hit proceed, right? So at this point, I have full availability that I can send it to the counterparty via that guest portal. They can upload it on their own. Or if I just want to upload it myself, both options are available to me, right? So now, meanwhile, what is happening on the client's end? Let me show you that quickly. One minute. So you'll see this now. This is the inbox for a counterparty. This is what the guest user is seeing. So if I click on this, they'll see the option that they can download a contract and they can have complete visibility on what's going on. The counterparty has received this, right? So they will see an email which is vendor agreement has been shared for your review by Samriddhi Iyer from Leegality. The names and the company will change according to your configuration. Now, for a counterparty, they can get a quick look from the attachment itself in the email that, hey, is this suspicious? Is this okay? Is this looking complete by my right? Is this completely fine or not? They look at the contract and they're like, oh, okay, this is legitimate. This is fine. They can click on this link. The link will take them to this guest access option where they have complete visibility of what they need to see for that contract. So let me just write in this email. This is the email that I got the request on from somebody from Leegality, right? That please review this. So I just need to do a quick email OTP verification and I'll be in. I'll be able to see the contract that was shared to me. I'll be able to see if there were any comments that were added for me, all of that in one go. Now I verify and that's it. I can see the contract right here. A guest access has been given to me. This is the counterparty. There are a bunch of things they can do here right now. They can download the document. They can see if there were any comments given to them. And whenever they're ready, they can upload the document. So let's say I got this email, right? I might look at it. Okay, this looks good. I might download it, share it with my other stakeholders, or I might just edit it on my Word of my choosing and then just do the changes that I need and then upload the contract. Whenever I'm ready, I can upload the contract and a new version will be uploaded. Let's say I don't have any changes that I need to offer. I look at the contract. Okay, it looks good. I have no issues. I can also directly write here, accept it as final and send. So the counterparty at that moment will get this message that, are you sure you want to send this? Does this look good to you? I'll be like, okay, yeah, this looks good to me. And a new version will be updated. Now, what is happening back in DC? Back in DC, this is what we will be seeing. I reload this. A log has been created. A document has been uploaded. The status has been changed. And you can see that the document has come back for my approval. So I never had to leave my system. Back in the guest portal, the counterparty did all the edits, whatever they needed to, they uploaded it back, and I have received it right now. The other option is also available to me that I can just upload it right here manually if the counterparty does not want to use the guest portal. Both options are available. So at this point, I can just open my document because I've received the response from the counterparty. I'll open my document. I'll take a check. Okay, has there been any changes? If I have track mode on, I'll be able to see all the markup, right? At this point, I have the left on the center stage of my screen. I can see the entire document and I have access to other features also right here, right? I have an option to do AI review. What AI review will basically give me the ability to is run standardized rules, run standardized playbooks that I have configured for my organization, my SOPs, certain rules that I might follow. All of that I might have set up here, I will have visibility to that, right? So from the system itself, I can, let's say, I have set up a vendor agreement standard. This is my SOP. I have that. I always use it whenever I'm working on vendor agreements. I want to use it right now, right? I don't need to check it line by line. It's on some other file. I'll check, oh, does this work? Does this work? Does this work? I can let AI do the first round of verification for me. And then basis that, I can take my decision on whether this contract is compliant for me right now or not. I have a bunch of different rules that I can set up here, right? It's completely customizable for you and for your use case. So for example, I have set up a universal risk scanner standard. What this specific scanner will do is I've set up a bunch of different rules under this that are important for me, for my organization. What kind of things that I need to make sure that my contract A remains up to standard, B remains compliant. I can set that up. For example, I, for this specific contract, wanted to run the vendor agreement standard. Let's say this was some other template. This was not a vendor agreement template. This was an MSA. This was an NDA. This can be a service agreement. Let's say I had some data privacy related rules that I really need to follow when it comes to a contract. I can run that, right? I can run a bunch of different things, like a collection of different rules, and then get responses into 3 categories: met, not found. This is what I was discussing when it comes to consistent analysis. Means that whatever you have set up for your organization, you can keep checking it again and again and make sure you get the standard result every single time. So the way that we have bucketed these responses is you get one in met. You can see that here. One will be not found. The not found cases where that specific standard that you have created doesn't exist only. So for example, I had a specific rule that no price escalation cap or annual increase limit should be set. And the rule description was basically flag if prices increase are unlimited or exceed 5% annually, right? This was a specific rule that I have set up for my organization. The AI went through the rule, it realized, oh, it's not existent only. So it will also give me a smart suggestion basis the language that I've set up for my organization that, hey, this doesn't exist right now. Why don't you add it? So I'll be able to then locate the original clause and then add the information accordingly. Same goes for met. Let's say I had a specific rule and it's met. It's all good. The AI will also then give me an understanding on why it's met. Our idea is just that we make sure that we are able to give you the right signals, but the last call, that is this right or is this not right, should be in your hands. So we want the last call to always remain in your hands. Let's say, again, coming back to the main thing, that the counterparty response came, I did some changes, everything is looking good, I save and approve, and I can keep doing this back and forth with my teams till I'm ready to mark it as ready for signing. So I mark it as ready for signing, and it'll ask me to just continue for a second. Let me just quickly reload. While I do all of this, every single time I'll get appropriate activity logs. I'll also get appropriate emails so that I'm in loop all the time. Just 1 second. Somebody might be editing this session. So just 1 minute. Yeah, perfect. Now the contract is now going to be ready for signing. What does this mean? I did a lot of changes. The point was we started from a template. We made a workflow. The workflow ran through some approvals. I checked it. I, as a legal approver, did my changes. Then I sent it to the counterparty. The counterparty gave it back. Once I got the response back from the counterparty, I was like, okay, wait, let me just run AI review once to make sure this is all up to standard. I checked all of this. Once I was ready that, okay, counterparty has also sent a response. We are also good. Let's send it for signing. I clicked on mark as ready for signing. So the contract has been logged. The contract is good to go. At this point, I can configure my signing. So this is where we'll come back to legality, where whatever contract it is that I want to set up for signing, I can now take it back to our document infrastructure. So at this point, the contract will then get routed for signing. The contract will get auto-populated. Again, if I have stamps or anything that I needed to set up, I can do that here. I'll hit next. Any person who is involved in this specific signing journey, I can add it. This is something that we know well. I can configure the signing part and decide again per my organization what I need to sign and set it up. So right now for this specific contract, I just need one coordinate right here, probably on alternate pages. So I'll just do that and send it. And that's it. The contract has been sent. I was able to use eSign as always, but the precursor to that, where I was doing all that negotiation, all that journey, I was able to have a consistent platform where I could handle all of that. And now I'm ready to sign it. I'm also the only person who's signing it. So I'll proceed to signing. I take a look at this, proceed, get my OTP. Just waiting for the authentication. That's it. The contract has been signed successfully. And back in deal collaboration, you'll be able to see that this contract has been signed. The audit log has been created like we always use. And you will also start seeing a signing document ID. So the log has also been changed, that the document status changed to executed. The document was signed by this specific person. When you open the document, you'll be able to see the signed option. And that's it. I'm done. At this point, I can also configure my renewals if needed. So my contract is signed. Let's say I have legacy contracts also that are just piling in my system and I want to configure their renewals. All of that can be set up from one place. So I can click on configure renewals. For this specific contract, I had already added the effective date, right? And I'll put the term of contract and that's it. At this point, the expiry date gets auto-calculated. And if I want to assign somebody for renewal, because you want ownership, and maybe I want to assign myself only that, hey, I need to remember when this contract expires, I can do that. And again, the part that we talked about, turnaround time notifications, making sure everybody's involved, having the right amount of notifications in place so that I don't miss my renewals, all of that can be set up here. So I can decide that, okay, renewal I have set up, but at what point do I want to start getting reminded about this? Let's say I want to start getting reminded that a renewal is approaching 30 days before expiry, right? What is the turnaround time for me to finish this, right? If December 31st, my contract is expiring, 1st December, I start getting reminders. Maybe I need about a week to discuss it with the counterparty and reinitiate the renewal journey. So let's say that's 7 days. And if I don't do it in 7 days, I can set up breach notifications also, that on the 8th day, I get reminders that, hey, 7 days have happened. Let's get on it, and let's try to make sure that we're all on the same page and move the renewal ahead. We can do all of that. But if we don't want that involved, we can skip it. So at this point, I've also configured my renewal. I'm done. For a year now, I don't have to worry about anything. I can always come back to the system. I can check the version history also. I did a bunch of different versions. I'll have complete clarity on all the versions that I went through. And if I ever want to go through the document again, I'll have access to that. So this is what our contract repositories lifecycle basically helps us with. I can look, I have an extensive set of filters that you can go through by status, whether a renewal has been set up or not, by template type. Let's say I have a specific vendor agreement for a specific counterparty for who renewal is not set up, and the people involved were some business person from my team. 5 6 different things that probably would take me 30 minutes to find on Google Drive. And I might still not find it, right? I can just set that up to 3 clicks and have that accessibility to me at all times. The point is that through that, you will have complete access to your entire repository. Now, what about all your legacy contracts that are in your system? That's a hassle to take out. We have something called smart extraction for that, which is basically your ability to go through your contracts, your legacy contracts, upload them in bulk, not have to worry about it again. Just compress all the files, put it in a PDF, and move it ahead, right? So I compressed all my PDF files. I had a lot of them. The point of compression is that I can send all of them in one go. And when it's ready, take it ahead, right? Now, this is where the magic happens. The point of having smart extraction is so that your legacy migration is much easier, right? What this smart extraction does is you have all these different files, right? They might be scanned PDFs, they might be normal PDFs. We want to make it easier that you can extract information out of it, right? Without having to go through it manually. We have an option of Excel uploads, which is something that we have seen in Leegality also, where you can very easily migrate documents using Excel. But we want to make it a little easier also for you to take out metadata from it. Now, what that might be, I have all these files that I have just uploaded using the zip file, right? The 3 things that I definitely need to extract is counterparty name, deal name, document name. What else? Maybe I need effective date. Maybe I need deal value. Maybe I need payment date. I might have a bunch of different information that I need from this contracts. So what smart extraction will do is I can proceed all these files that I have just mentioned. The contract, the AI extraction will go through them one by one and look at the values that I want to extract. Deal value I want to extract. It will go through the entire contract, find it. It will go through the entire contract, find the counterparty, and give you the information that you need. And all you have to do is just do the final check that this looks good. Do I need to change anything? Do I need to tweak anything? To give you an example of that, I've already set up one contract here. For example, I have this contract, right? I had uploaded it, and this is all the information that I had extracted. You'll be able to quickly see that on your left, you'll see the scanned PDF. And on your right, you will be able to see all the information that I extracted, right? I wanted counterparty signatory, I wanted counterparty name, deal name, document name, counterparty POC email. And I can very clearly see right now that I have all this information ready for me now. All I need to do is just accept or confirm values and then just move it to contracts. So instead of me having to do this manually, I can just do all of this, the actual extraction work. AI can do it for me. And I just need to be the last checker to make sure that this looks good. And when I'm ready, I can move it to contracts. So this will be queued. And whenever the batch is ready, it will be moved to my contract repository, always available to me with all the relevant information. So that is all that you can do with the ability of the browser. But like I had mentioned, let's say I'm working on a contract and I'm doing certain changes. I open the document, I'm reviewing it. But wait, I really want to use Word. I prefer that's something that I'm more comfortable with. Can I just use that and just upload it back into the system? Yes. And we want to make it a little even easier for you to do the connection between the browser and the editor of your choice. So at this point, what I can do is I can download this specific document and I have an option of offline review. And what offline review will do is that the document will be paused for online editing, and I'll have the ability to, at any given point, edit the document on Word and take access of the entire contract repository from Word itself. Let's say I take this document, I enable it for offline review. That's it. The contract is now in offline review mode. That means that if somebody comes to the system, they look at the document, they can't edit it because you have downloaded it for offline review. And I can open the same exact contract in Word. So the contract that we just saw is open in Word. And on my right, I can see entirety of deal collaboration on my plugin. So you will see all the tasks that I had mentioned right now, the entire contract repository with all the filters. I can click on any contract with all the filters. I can run AI review like I had just mentioned, check if it is up to standards or not, do all the changes. And whenever I'm ready, I can send it and upload it right here and there. Let's say I downloaded it for offline review. On Word itself, I did some changes and I clicked on upload. Let's say I wanted to write a specific version on it and I hit proceed. That's it. The document has been uploaded in Word. The relevant log has been created. Somebody, if they go to the browser, they'll be able to see the same version that you've uploaded from Word without having to leave the system. So there is a lot that you can do with Word also, while being in the comfort of the editor of your choosing and having access to DC as a browser. So to encapsulate, whether it comes to contract repositories, filtration, tasks, whether it comes to extracting key information from your legacy contracts, or running AI review, customized playbooks for your needs, or configuring renewals, all of that is available to you from the same system that you've always been using, and at the same time having the integration with the signing that you've been comfortable with. So that is a brief introduction to deal collaboration. And yeah, I'll open the floor now to questions.
If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask them. You can unmute yourself and just ask. Thanks a lot, Samriddhi, for the demo. Just to reiterate what we saw in the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So we made a vendor agreement. We negotiated it again with another entity, which was Samriddhi's personal email. You can do it for whatever clauses in that agreement matter to you. And once both parties are satisfied with those terms, you can start executing the same agreement via Leegality document infrastructure. You can select whatever e-sign you want to put to it. You can affix stamp if you want to. So think of these features, I would say, as an extension to what you usually did outside of Leegality document infrastructure on calls, emails, or a very tedious manual follow-up that was needed by your teams just to close the terms of the agreement. So this is a replacement to that. This is going to improve the efficiency and the speed of closing terms of an agreement for your teams, especially for MSAs, NDAs, and for vendor agreements. Karan, you can just unmute yourself and ask a question. You have
Yeah.
access to mic.
Hi. Hi. Just wanted to ask one thing is, see, if we have a pretty much standard agreement templates, which are not much for a negotiation scope, then do we still have to create different workflows or can we keep it or save it in one workflow?
So if you have a standard agreement that will not be going through negotiation, then you can just go ahead for signing directly. Initiate it like we do in Leegality right now, where you can just initiate a contract, an agreement, and send it for signing. But if you feel that there will be some negotiation that needs to be done, certain people that will need to be involved, then you can use a workflow.
The templates would be different. So still a single workflow will work. That's what you're saying?
A single workflow will work, yes, but you will need a template for that specific workflow, even if you're using it once. Just to understand your question a little better, are you talking about a case where you have a specific agreement that you need to sign and you don't need to do a lot of negotiation for that specific agreement? So you are asking, do I need a workflow for that? Or are you asking, do I need a template for that?
No. So we have a template, for example, NDA and a service agreement. Now these are pretty much standardized in nature. So
Hmm.
there's no scope of negotiation with the third party guest user. So what we have that we simply fill in the details internally and send it for execution.
Oh, got it. Yeah, then you can just fill the fields internally. Then, in that case, I would suggest that you can just send it for signing. You can just use the document execution workflow, the signing workflow, because then your main use case is just for signing. So you can just add whatever fields that you need and send it for signing immediately.
Correct. Okay. Got it. Thanks.
Yeah.
But let's say in those NDAs or MSAs, if you still want to track the expiry date, you can then use these features. You can just upload the signed document onto this contract management features, and then you'll get a notification whenever those agreements are expiring.
Once your contract is executed, then like we just saw when we were uploading contracts, you can just upload the executed contract and then just keep that as a renewal repository.
Yeah, so I assume everything else works in the same manner. It is only that I keep two templates under one workflow and get it executed as and when required. Because your
Uh,
workflow, there is a cost associated to the workflow. That's the reason I'm asking.
You can have as many templates as you want in a workflow, that's for sure. Depends on how you would want to use the workflow, if adding 2 3 templates for that workflow makes sense or not. But if they are similar templates and the people involved in that workflow are the same, then you can use the same workflow for 2 3 templates, definitely.
Sure, got it.
Yeah.
Muskan, you can just unmute
Yeah.
yourself. And
I just wanted to check when we initially discussed about your requirement. I think you also had a requirement where you wanted to send out the contracts based on the renewal dates, right? So I think that's when the DC, our DC product can come into the picture. As you saw today, we can also set up the renewal for specific contracts. So I think that would be helpful for you to renew the NDA or any other specific type of contracts from your side.
Absolutely. The rest all features has to be used. Only
Yeah.
is that the negotiation parts is a little bit not required for a particular workflow or certain set of agreements.
Riddhi, just a question for you also. In Karan's case, let's say we don't need so much of negotiation in to close the contract, right? As per what we saw in today's session, is there a possibility wherein we can just skip some roles and directly send out the contracts? Whatever initiator would be there, but in between there are business. I'm not sure business.
Negotiator. Yeah, yeah, I got your point. So
So
for
I
that, if your use case is to use the AI features, to use the audit logs, if you don't want to use the negotiation part, what we usually do is that we just set up all the POCs as us, right? Business negotiator, legal negotiator. There are only 2 people. Pre-sharing approver is completely optional, so you don't need that. You can just set both people as yourself and move the contract ahead. If you want to use AI review or any of those features, you can. If you don't want to send for external review, that's also okay. We have an option that you, because the point is that when if your contract needs any type of negotiation, you're basically routing it through deal collaboration. And if you feel like your contract doesn't need any negotiation, it needs to get signed and then come back to deal collaboration for AI review, for extraction, for renewals, then you can take that route. But to answer your question, we can skip the pre-sharing approver part, and when it comes to, then there is literally no negotiation actually left, because you are the business negotiator, you're the legal negotiator, so there is no jobs to be done. And when it comes to the send for external review part, that's something that you just need to mark at least once, that yeah, we don't need this, basically this is good. So like I showed you right now, I didn't change the version at all, it's the same version only, because there was nothing to ask from the counterparty. So I can just remove that option that I'm sending it to the counterparty. Right there, I can just change the updated version and move it ahead.
understood.
Yeah. I'd suggest that if you don't want negotiation of any kind, then you can sign it first and then let the contract sit in deal collaboration for renewals, for AI review, and just a general maintenance of your
Contract.
repository. Yeah.
Karan, anything you want to add or any other thoughts on what we discussed and saw today in the session?
No, I'm clear for now.
Okay.
Yes, I think, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions? Muskan, Pavitra, Karan?
I'm good from my end. Yeah.
No, Shubhesh, I'm good. I'm good. Yes.
Great, then thanks a lot everyone for joining. Even if after this session you have any questions, please feel free to contact Samriddhi or your legality POC. Samriddhi, can you drop your email ID in the chat? Just
Sure.
if somebody has any product related queries.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
So feel free to reach out to us anytime you want, and we'll be happy to answer. If you want a customized one-on-one conversations for this, or you want to test it out in your legality sandbox, Karan Muskan can help you with it, and she'll help you set it up. So you'll be able to get a feel of how it works, and that would probably help you understand whether this is something you want to use or not. So yeah,
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
thanks
you.
a lot everyone for joining. Have
Thanks,
a good
everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye.
Amriti, for the session.
Sure. Bye bye. Thanks.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.